Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, I'm not alone today and I get to speak about Rolex. We haven't done a Rolex video in a long time. Today is a real treat because we got brand new versions, the 1, 2, XXXX references. We got the Blue Z, well, I don't need to tell you what they are. Most importantly, we have the owner of these watches, my buddy Tony. Tony, I've known him for more than 20 years and he got recently into watches, a bit because of me, I have to say. It's a bit my fault. Sorry to Mrs. Tony. And but yeah, he didn't know I was doing this channel, and then he was looking at YouTube and then realized, hey, is that you? I was trying to deny, and then in the end I told him, yeah, it's me. Let's do a video together. So bonjour Tony.
Bonjour Optique. Thanks for the invite.
Well, thanks for coming over. And yeah, lately I've been talking about a lot of independent brands, obscure type of watches. So it's nice to have the big dog in the house, Rolex. We all love Rolex. At the same time, there's always all sorts of connotations. I wouldn't say negative, but a lot of stories. How do you get the Rolex? And we can maybe start there. I mean, you wanted to go straight to the top. You wanted to get your Rolex. So you started playing what we call the AD dance, the AD game. So you just went to the shop. And of course, the market it's a bit different than the past 4 years. The COVID years was madness, impossible to get anything. And little insider truth, most of the ADs or all the ADs here were selling straight to resellers, gray market dealers. Most of the watches, except the ladies' watches, it's changing a bit now, especially for the full gold models, the two-tones and models like the Explorer 2, even maybe the Explorer 1. But to get the Daytona, even in two-tone, to get the Submariner is impossible. Still, well, there's conditions, let's say, and the two-tone a bit more available. But I think for you, Tony, you started with the Datejust, which is the perfect watch and a great way to start. So what was a bit the story behind this one?
So obviously, as Optique mentioned, I get addicted because of him. So
no, it can't be just me.
So, yeah, kind of.
I showed you a few watches. Yeah.
Yeah, you showed me a few watches, very nice watches. I get addicted, getting curious. So I went straight to the Rolex shop and basically just knowing nothing, just go to them and say, I would like to buy a Rolex. Looking at me with big eyes and basically look like an idiot because I didn't really know the rules. And obviously I started to talk with them and basically have a conversation, try to build up a relationship by initially knowing nothing. And then after maybe a few hours, he offered me a batch, basically 3 or 4 Rolex. And this is the first one that I choose. I basically like the two tones personally. I like basically the black dials. I like it, very classy watches. So it was pretty easy to buy it. I have to say, no specific conditions, but I liked it. So that was kind of my first love for Rolex. And obviously, when you start to like Rolex, you start to want to have more and more. So.
Well, in a way, maybe it's even better to come with knowing nothing and being fresh and being honest. I go in there and maybe I know too much and they feel it and they like they want to play more games. At least with you it was straightforward. And so you have the version with the diamond indices, 41 millimeters. I have the same watch in all steel with the Wimbledon dial. Just a perfect watch. You can wear that anytime, every day. Super reliable. How do the diamonds treat you?
Yeah, I have to say the diamond look a bit flashy, according to my wife, but I like it.
It's not that flashy.
I think with the dark is kind of basically calm down maybe a bit of the color, but still, I mean, I I like it personally, so I don't really care about what people can think. If it's too flashy or not. I just like it. So
it's more like the uncle's watch.
Very true.
In Singapore, you're like the uncle. Huh?
You look a bit more mature, a little bit more flashy, but I just wear it time to time, decent occasions. So
this was available, right? So 41 millimeters. It was very difficult to get them for a while, and you got this really good way to start a relationship.
Exactly. But I have to say, I haven't been to this shop for a few years after this purchase. So I went right after COVID, basically. Actually, this year. So after a few years, so basically, I start to basically wanted to raise a bit my game, and wanted to have something maybe a bit more nicer. I was looking at few Daytona basically models, and I quite like the champagne dial. So as a very innocent person, I came back to the shop that I bought this watch, and talked to actually another AD at the same shop, and end up he was basically the manager of the shop.
Always the way to go in Hong Kong, because the manager controls the inflow of watches, and few people know that, but people get a bit frustrated with their sales associate, the SA, but the sales associate actually don't know what comes in the deliveries of Rolex. The manager typically gets everything, hides some in the back, the Pepsis and all that, go to his own personal safe. Some of it he's going to move out straight to second-hand, to resellers. And I suspect that some of the managers own some of the resellers or have interest in it. And then you always say you think he's lying to you while he doesn't know much more than you. But lucky break that day. You get to talk to the manager.
It was indeed a very lucky day, I would say. So, he actually asked me some few basic questions. Why would I like to buy it? What's the purpose of that? So I just told him very honestly that I like it. I'm not an expert in watch. I had one. I just want to have another one. I like the brand. I plan to. I realized he asked me very some specific question. Do I plan to actually basically to spill on it, to basically resell it? I said no. I told him that everything is personal. I'm not looking for any profit. So after this long, I would say, discussion, he actually told me that he can potentially have it. However, there's one condition: is basically I need to buy something below around 3,000-4,000. Something around 4,000, I would say, to be able to get that watch. 4,000 US, yeah. So, which I thought about that, asked around me, because I obviously didn't know the deal around Rolex. I didn't realize it was so complicated to have a Rolex. And after a few discussions with few friends, among them Optic, of course, they say that why not? If you like it, it's not an over reaction. So you might think about it. So I decided to buy it. It was pretty straightforward, I would say. So I needed to buy the second watch, which is under 4,000 first, and then a few days after, basically, I was able to get this Daytona.
So let's talk. Let's be honest. The watch is probably there at the shop, but he pretends, that there's a bit of waiting to do it. But probably he could have sold it to you. Actually, you end up buying quite a nice watch as well, and it comes down to the same price, more or less, as going straight to the second-hand market, reseller market. But at least you have another watch, and it's actually a nice one. We won't go into too many details to not reveal fully the identities of the guilties, but it's a reasonable watch, and I heard as well that the ADs don't, no, the reps, the DSAs don't make a great commission on the Rolex. They make more commission on the other brands. Now the manager has a different story. The manager makes the full commission. Rolex, I think it's 50% of the retail goes to the shop, while other brands it's 70%. So when they give you 30% off on Zenith, they still make a good 30% on it. That's why they can offer more on those watches. But yeah, important thing to note is that this is not well, it's never been a cheap watch, but even less now with the rise of the price of gold and Rolex increasing their prices. Those two tones are getting really expensive. Both the Daytona and the watch we'll talk about less, the prices have increased again in June or in July. And I remember looking at the Bluesies. They are a good 30% more than pre-COVID prices. Last time, all the ADs here were getting them. But before we get to the Bluesy, yeah, I have to say the champagne dial is gorgeous. I hear a lot on YouTube that the white dial is the most favored. I'm not sure, white, black, I like both. But now that I see the champagne, the new version of the champagne, they've really done something quite magical with it, and that's what Rolex does. You could feel that the old version, by the way, the champagne dial looked more yellow to me. This one looks a bit lighter, but the redesign of mostly the sub-dials has given a new lease of life for the Daytona two-tone. And it looks fresh, it looks modern, while if you look at the previous reference, still a beautiful watch, of course, but it looks a bit more dated suddenly. So really a big fan. I was very impressed when I saw this, and I find that the dial is quite pale, you know, it's not like a yellow, flash yellow, quite pale, more pale than the actual yellow gold of the bracelet. And really a stunning piece. Yeah, great choice, and you stick to the two-tone, and so that was not enough. You have the Daytona, the one they give to the winners of the Le Mans race, but that's not enough. You needed, of course, the diver. We live on an island. Gotta have a diver, gotta have the Submariner. Fun fact, I've never owned a Submariner.
Oh,
I went for the Sea Dweller because it was a bit special, the 40mm that they did for a while and discontinued. But I had the previous version of the Submariner in my hand in Germany, back when I knew very little about Rolex and everything, how hard it would be to get afterwards. And I didn't buy it. I should have. But anyway, what's the story on this brand new Bluesy with the white text? The previous version, the 116, had the golden text. So again, quite a bit of a refresh. The case is a hair larger. The bracelet has gone to 21mm, if I'm not mistaken. And you have the 70-hour power reserve. And the dial over the versions of the Bluesy has changed sometimes. This one has a really beautiful mystique to it. Especially in person. I try to give you a bit of a good idea on the camera of how it feels in person. So tell me a bit, what was the story there? Because I think you were visiting different ADs, trying to get a feel of what you could get, GMT, Submariner.
Yes, indeed. I mean, obviously, I realized that it wasn't easy to get Rolex with an AD, so I was trying to try my luck with another one. So I went one around the dark side of Hong Kong, TST,
yeah.
And went to a very beautiful shop as well. So I had to start to have a chat with basically the AD. And I just told him that, yeah, I want something casual if possible. I obviously bring my my Daytona to show him that I'm actually a fan, and not basically a big mouth who trying to play around. And I just told him that had a long chat, same as the first one, basically looking for one more casual Rolex, something that I can wear on a daily basis. I would like to have a steel one. I realized at that time that the steel one are extremely popular, like all the GMT, Submariners. But I still told him that, I would like to have those models. So I started to send basically a couple of pictures of what I like to this 80 across GMT, Submariner, but also a bit of day-date as well. And he told me, and then he said, okay, I have nothing at the moment, but if I have something, I'll definitely give you a shout. I said, yeah. And I think at that time was around March this year. And just around May, I got basically a call for the second 80 that I visited. And he told me, listen, I have this bluesy, not steel, but bluesy, 2 tones, a blue dye, beautiful, a bit more expensive than basically what you asked me before, but available right now. And I was saying, wow, very nice, love it. However, the price a bit high. So I was wondering what was the condition basically to get it. So I asked him straight away, what was the condition? And he told me, no condition. You can have it right now. I have it. I thought about you and I got it. And he also added me one specific details. He said, listen, starting the 1st of June, Rolex is going to increase the Rolex price, especially there's some rumors saying anything specific to gold, because they need to raise because of the increase of the gold price. So they say that there's a chance that if you buy it today, you might actually have 3 or 4% basically discount basically compared to the upcoming one. So I look at it, try it, and realize that I like it. So very happy and bought it. And basically asked him, is there any conditions? He says, no problem. Buy it outright now. And
as a first purchase from that AD, and I think that's what a few things are interesting, is that usually in all my experiences, the Rolex ADs have been very fair in saying when there was going to be an increase, and there was always an increase. So you can say, it creates an urgency, so it's forces you a bit to buy, but I think it's very fair, and they don't try to sell it to you at the next price, because even they find it's excessive. So as I said, compared to 4 years ago, the bluesy price had already increased by some 20-25%. Now it's over 30%. So in Hong Kong dollar term, it used to be 105 when I had one in front of me hesitating. Now it's 133. So it's getting really expensive. So interesting to see how Rolex is exposed to the fluctuations of gold. Will be interesting to see if the gold comes down, which is unlikely in a world getting so difficult financially. It's still a good refuge, but I know that afterwards another AD called you for the same watch, and the reason, as I was explaining to you, and I've seen that in the past. When I was watching the bluesy 4 years ago, all the ADs had it, the blue and the black, because Rolex seems to send models in batches to ADs. So at the same time in Hong Kong, all the ADs will have all the bluesies. And at a different time, I remember all the ADs had the blue dial Milgauss. That's when I bought mine. And so suddenly all the ADs are competing because they have probably the same clients. Some of them, there's some overlap of clients. And suddenly they all have the same watch to sell. And so they have the urgency. They panic a little bit. Oh my God, now we all have it. The other AD has it as well. And there's not that many clients ready to spend that amount now on two-tone when the market has changed. And but that's when, if you have the funds, you swoop in and you get the watch, and you get a beautiful watch and a crazy collection, 3 watches, two-tone. That's a great team. And, I'm thinking the next thing for you, you mentioned Day-Date, but I think GMT is also something you could get. And would you rather get the steel, or would you, I guess, like everybody, if they offer you the Pepsi, you'll grab it. But two-tone would be great. Maybe the root beer, or for you, would be nice to have the yellow gold with the black and gray. So where is it going? Are you going to stick to Rolex? And just to make the conversation interesting, I brought my own watch, which has cured me a little bit. Yes, if I'm offered the Pepsi, yes, of course, I'll take it. If I'm offered the root beer, to be honest, I'll be hesitating because the price has increased so much. You can get it right away from a dealer anytime now. So the ADs, you know, if they make you wait 5 years to get it, do what I still want to get it. But this one, no Cyclops, 39mm, no crown guard, the rubber option, you have the extension in the clasp, has been amazing since I've had it. So for my part, this cures it until Uptick changes his mind again. But what does Tony say about the GMT situation? What have they told you at the AD? What would you really like to get?
Oh, so indeed, after that, you always want more and more. So I was looking into more GMT because I have a Submariner, Mariner, I have a Daytona, Datejust, but I don't have any GMT. I know it's popular. I was aware about that, but still, I try my luck and we'll see. So within these two AED that I get basically my watches, I just submit them few pictures, obviously the Pepsi, the 7-Up, and also the Batman and the Batgirl. Yeah. And also I ask them if they have the Bruce Wayne, which is a very new one. Why not? I will be a taker. Yeah. So after, I would say within a month, after the purchase of my Bluesy, I actually got a call from the very first AD and that I got my Daytona. He actually called me. He said, "Come over here. I show you things that you might like." So I went there. Very nice. Have a quick chat with him, and he showed me basically over 5 watches. Among them, obviously, Batman, Batgirl. I had also the Bruce Wayne, which is a brand new one, the black one. Yeah. And he also showed me also some, what's the name? Paul Newman as well. The very Paul Newman, which is the black Daytona with the rubber, basically, bracelet. Nice. And I was like stunned because after obviously trying to do some search about Rolex because I started to really like it and watch a lot of video on YouTube, I realized that those basically watches wasn't offered to anyone. Yeah. Even that you have money, they don't necessarily offer to you. Yeah. So I think that the VAD start to kind of know my profile, know that I'm not a spieler. I'm basically buying watch because I like watch. And he offered me basically, asked me basically that if I want them, I can have them. However, there's a bit of conditions. Yeah. So the conditions, as an example, for example, I would say the Batman, for example, let's say it costs like maybe 90,000 Hong Kong dollars. On the gray market price, maybe is, I don't know, maybe
120. For the Batman, a bit less, 115, 120.
Exactly, 150, 140, 150. So for that one, for example, he will ask me to spend almost the double, actually more than the double. Wow. To basically be able to...
What does he have? That's on the different brand? Or even a ladies?
On different brand, yes. And it was actually interesting conditions. Not only the amount has to be a double, but also the model was basically limited. Means that I can choose maybe like
a Zenith maybe?
Maybe Zenith, Panerai, Cartier.
Bulgari has watches in that range.
Or Tudor even. But the condition is I had to choose something related to gold.
With gold in it.
With gold in it. So that was the conditions.
Something that's going a bit out of favor right now I guess.
So I found it very interested. At the beginning, obviously very excited. So I say, yeah, why not? And then I asked him, how about that one? So the Bruce Wayne. And Bruce Wayne was obviously a different amount.
Yeah.
So it was maybe 90,000 instead of 80,000 for the Batgirl. And for example, if I wanted to have another Daytona, which is a Panda or another one, that is actually, I have to spend 120,000 honky. So basically, like a very popular Daytona, like a Panda, might cost you, I don't know, like white gold, might cost you over 200,000 Hong Kong dollar. If they want you to spend another 120,000 Hong Kong dollar.
Yeah, that is nuts.
So obviously it's a big amount of money. It's a decent amount of money. That's my only basically worry is like I was kind of forced to buy something that I don't like.
Yeah.
Which is a bit annoying to have something to some. I mean, obviously you can have the watch that you like, but you have to buy something that you don't like. So that was something that a bit annoying me to have to spend this amount of money, to get something. So I would say that I obviously keep a very good relationship with him. I just put that on hold. I said that I need to have a think. He did give me kind of it's not a warning, but kind of some expectation that it can be gone quite quickly if I don't pull the trigger. So I just nicely say no for now.
Yeah.
But still keeping the relationship and pending, I would say, to maybe the other AD to tell me his condition. To be honest, if the condition wasn't like the double of the amount, maybe I would have to think about it. But if he's like double the amount that the retail price I need to buy, to spend,
that is really excessive.
Yeah.
I think if they say, okay, buy a Tudor, buy a $4,000 watch, okay, why not you buy something that's a bit fun for the beach, or something, a color that you don't have, or a function that you don't have, a little world timer maybe. But it does sound really excessive, and it really sounds like they are a bit on their last, they're really trying hard at the moment to keep this fantasy going, while everybody has been treated really badly. And even the VVIPs, it's not you, me, you newcomer, me being a bit more into it, but VVIPs too haven't gotten much at all in the past years, because the watch goes straight to the resale. And it's sad that the Rolex brand is a bit hostage of their distribution system. Same for Patek. Other brands have taken back control of it, like AP. Doesn't make it easier to get, but at least they have the full control of it. For me, I kind of went the Omega way, where we get, you're treated like a friend. Obviously, they're selling a product, but they know you get champagne, you get access to the brand new watches, and it's a great relationship. So the GMT ID on hold. Would you consider a Tudor, or does it feel like it can be a weekend watch when you don't want to have a nice two-tone scratched?
No, very much. I mean, I did watch.
Do you mind if I put it on the wrist to show the people?
No, of course.
True story, I've never had one on the wrist.
Oh, really?
Of the new ones.
Make yourself happy.
On my wrist, by the way, today I have a Chopard World Timer, which is something that costs half this. Cost me half of this. The retail is around the same, but second hand. And World Timer, that's something Rolex should really do. That would do fantastic.
Can I try it?
Yeah, try it on. And you have bigger wrist than mine, so same as Rolex. But you can put it here, and I will open up the Easy Fit. So for you, it should be should look good. There you go.
I love it.
To me, it's been so. What's great is that they offer the Tudor offers the
beautiful
rubber option. So
bureau, please.
So yeah, first time I get this 41, they say it's more like 40.5, 40.6. Yeah, it does wear still really good. Huh?
Look good on you.
Doesn't look too big. See the edge of my wrist still has a lot of room, and it looks thinner than it used to before. That's why I didn't take the 116610 when I had a chance, because I felt that the case, the lugs were just too blocky, and so now they made the lugs a bit thinner, but just the bracelet a bit 1 millimeter wider.
Beautiful.
Yeah, for me, I bond with the Tudor, but I don't know if you won't feel like it's a step down from your collection now of Rolex. Tudor always feels a bit junior. This one is the first one where I don't get that feeling, where I feel like it's just right. And I can really enjoy it without feeling that I've compromised, because it offers something different than the Rolex GMT. Don't have the Cyclops, and because at the end the GMT is exactly the same as your Submariner, just different bezel, different colors. It is the same watch. At least with the Daytona you have a rounded case. Here you have this straight case, but the GMT is pretty much the same as this, just with different colors. So I don't know if in the end you're still not paying too much to get the same watch.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I indeed do like this this Tudor. I think I mean, if you're frustrated, you didn't get the Coca-Cola, for example, on GMT with Rolex. I think this one is pretty nice. Function is pretty much the same as a GMT. You can move basically the bezel here as well. Yeah, you have exactly the same function. Personally, I might choose the Jubilee bracelet, but just more.
They don't do the Jubilee for this one. They do Jubilee for just the diver only.
Oh.
So this one comes with their sort of oyster.
Also oyster bracelet. Okay.
But I feel it becomes too much. We're looking at the Tudor still. Too much steel. I prefer this look because I'm a big fan of the Rolex Daytona on the Oyster Flex. That may be something you should consider, the Oyster Flex, but you already have a Daytona.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But you know what would be great for you also would have been the Yacht-Master, one of the Yacht-Masters. They come on the Oyster Flex. My favorite is the 40 millimeter rose gold. Then they have the 42 millimeter in yellow and white gold. 42 millimeter, you can get away with it. But the 40 millimeter rose gold has always been my big favorite, and the Oyster Flex wears so comfortable. Have you tried one?
No,
if you try one, you won't believe it.
I haven't actually. I haven't. So indeed, can be one of the connection to add for myself. But yeah, I really like it. I wouldn't lie. I mean, model is nice. Same function as I said as Rolex, the GMT. It's just a personal preference. I prefer maybe a more steel bracelet, but even with the rubber one, I feel quite comfortable. It's not sticky to the skin, so it's really nice.
No, it's been very comfortable. It has a bit of relief at the bottom, not as much as the Oyster Flex. Yeah, you basically lift it up on the side here.
Excellent.
The best way to remove it, and I'll give maybe a little. So now you have also the flip-flop on the Daytonas. Used to be just more simple.
Nice.
Wow, just a gorgeous timepiece. And to be complete, we have the wrist shot of the Daytona. So yeah, I guess it's a bit to be continued. I think you are on the. You stay in touch with the 80s, right?
You have to, I guess. Yeah, if you want to get more watches,
finger on the pulse is what I mean.
Exactly.
Finger on the pulse, which is great for me as well, because I've decided I'm not gonna go anymore and ask, because I've asked too many times. Actually, not that much. I was hoping my usual AD would come through, but never happened. So I've given up. So it's great that you can come on the channel and talk a bit about what's going on, your experience, because people and I love to hear about Rolex. And this one is really gorgeous, and all three of them gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm really surprised that They've managed with just a little restyling to give it a new lease on life, really for another 10 years. They're really, shout out to the designers, and we don't know who they are, right, at Rolex, because it's not a,
I don't know.
There's not a face, a human face to the designs of Rolex, and they've done really well to keep this line of watches fresh, modern. This is a badass watch. So do you wear it, where do you wear it? Do you wear it at the office?
Yeah, I do wear it, not every day, but I would say like maybe twice a week I wear at the office over
Under
the
the
week.
cuff?
More like casual time, casual time when I see like when I'm doing business. But I do like to wear them during the weekend when I have dinner with friends. I like to change it because I don't like to always to wear the same watches. That's why I like to have that diversify one. But no, I do wear it. I don't keep it in the box. Yeah, I do enjoy it, I have to say.
And so far, you don't pick up. I mean, these watches scratch immediately. My two tones,
That's the flip side, indeed. The flip side is they're quite sensitive, so you have to be very careful when you.
You know, my trick at the office is to have two mouse pads, one on the left for the watch. Try that, and you will never scratch at least the bottom here. But somehow the bracelets here get scratched.
You're right.
I think just putting on your shirt will scratch. Just looking at them scratches them. But yeah, there you go. That's a bit the story of Tony so far. Definitely the story so far. There'll probably be a second part to this video, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. I've really enjoyed it as much as I love all watches, discovering new brands, independence and all that. Always have a good time with Rolex because they are amazing products with great design and yeah, refreshed. You know, they changed the color, and there you go. It makes the previous one special because they stopped making it, and it makes the new one special. Very very easy. Anything you'd like to add?
Well, yeah. As you flag, obviously, is to be continued. I suspect that I won't stop here for Rolex, or even actually might potentially try other brand in the future. But definitely didn't give up. Still want to have some GMT. I might wait for a different opportunity of the timing. Given the market is slowing down, maybe they will change the strategy to sell it and be becoming a bit more available, because even that by reading and by looking at some popular channel like yours, I realized that there's some, they actually start to relax the way that we sell the Rolex and becoming a bit more available. So yeah, definitely looking for more. A special thanks to you, obviously, for inviting me to your popular channel that I actually discovered luckily by myself. He wasn't.
I'm
He
trying
didn't
to be
sell
discreet
it.
because it's a side hobby for me. So our relationship is a friendly relationship, but also through our job. But also I keep the watch thing outside of the job sphere, so it doesn't interfere too much. But there you go. Now it has intersected. But one thing I would finish with for the GMT, I think that because they get them in batches, as we mentioned, they're going to get a bunch of root beers and nothing for 6 months. So if you want a root beer when they're not getting them, you get the feeling that you will never get it. But I would say, tell your ADs you're ready for the root beer and you're ready for the two-tone yellow gold with the black and gray, because two-tone, the resale prices have for the root beer is pretty much where the retail is, since the retail has increased. So it's around 40,000 Hong Kong for the retail. And I can bet you that they can get it for you without any condition, especially if you already have purchases. That will be the first one I think you can get. I think the yellow gold normally is less popular than the rose, but it's a more recent watch, so maybe more difficult, but you might get surprised in getting the call for that. And it would keep the idea of the collection of having two tones, but I wouldn't, you know, pay up to get the steel. It's become too ridiculous, because you get say a Batgirl or a Batman, great watch, then you take the train here and every other middle class housewife has one.
That's very true. Yeah.
And for them, maybe they pay up just because they want one. But if you start to collect, you don't want to drop 10 grand on something you don't want just to get that. Your money becomes a bit more. You have to make good use of your funds.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
That's my advice. I think the root beer might be the next one you get.
Need to think about it, indeed. Need to think about it. But yeah, ideally to have a steal, but I'm open, obviously.
Cool. Well, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this Rolex episode. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Abjik, for inviting me to your popular channel.
And to be continued with your adventures with Rolex. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you.